o'clock. I call to order our Board of Commissioners' regular scheduled meeting today, December 21st at 7 p.m. I have asked our invocation to be led by Tracy Stevenson, our Public Works Director, and then after Tracy's finished, I'll call upon volunteer firefighter Summer Williams for our Pledge of Allegiance. Tracy?
Thank you. Let's pray.
Please rise.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for every day that you give us. And we just come here tonight praying that everything that we do here is blessed and in your will. And we just do this knowing that you are our strength, you are our peace, and you are our salvation. And we just ask that through this holiday season and all the things that we see and do, that you keep us safe, you keep us faithful to you, and that we do things that are pleasing to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Summer, will you please come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. At this time, I ask that our town manager review the meeting protocol for public participation as it relates to this meeting.
Thank you, Mayor Massengill. Good evening, board members. Tonight's meeting is both in person and virtual. A limited number of citizens from the public have been permitted to attend the meeting in person. Tonight's meeting contains a public comment period and no scheduled public hearing. Due to the hybrid nature of the meeting, the public will be invited to comment both in person and virtually via the Zoom virtual meeting platform. When it is the appropriate time, Mayor Massengill will first call on those wishing to address the town board that are attending in person, followed by those wishing to address the town board via the Zoom platform. All attendees that have appeared in person to address the town board during the public comment period should provide your name and address on the registration sheet by the podium prior to the public comment period beginning. All attendees that have joined the meeting virtually have joined muted. If those joining virtually wish to address the town board during the public comment period, they will need to notify the town host that they wish to speak. For the public's benefit that may be joining the meeting via the Zoom platform, please press the raise hand button in the Zoom application to notify the town host that you wish to address the town board. Please press star 9 to raise your hand if joining by telephone. After an individual has raised their hand, they will enter into a queue. When the time for public comment begins, Mayor Massengill will ask the town host to recognize individuals that have notified the host that they wish to speak by calling out their name with the last 4 digits of their telephone number. Individuals will be unmuted one at a time and invited to address the town board. We ask all those wishing to address the town board to begin their comments by clearly stating their name and address for the public record. The public is asked to keep all comments to 3 minutes so that all that wish to speak can be heard in a timely manner. And this concludes the protocol for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. First item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the December 6th, 2021 regular scheduled town board meeting. Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 6, 2021 meeting, regular scheduled meeting as presented and recommended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. First item on our agenda tonight is item 4A, recognition of Fuquay-Varina volunteer firefighter Summer Williams. This will be presented by Manager Mitchell, Fire Chiefs, and myself.
And I'll just ask that Deputy Chief Jones please step to the podium and do your thing.
Sir. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we would like to introduce a very special young lady and one of our newest certified firefighters. On September 3rd, 2019, 30 eager firefighter recruits started the 11th Wake County Fire Academy at the County Fire Training Facility. Among those 30 bright-eyed recruits was a newly accepted volunteer firefighter with the Fuquay-Varina Fire Department named Summer Williams. She was a former fire explorer with the department and was convinced more than ever that earning her firefighter certification and working as a full-time firefighter was her calling. Summer excelled through the physically grinding and mentally exhausting good and bad days of the academy, always doing it with a smile on her face. And although you can't see it, I'm sure she's got one behind that mask tonight. Shortly after the academy began, Summer was forced to notify the instructors and Chief Malden that she was battling cancer. Again. You see, Summer had been down this road in 2018 when she was diagnosed with a rare form of melanoma. She battled through that diagnosis and treatment, and her cancer went into remission. Unfortunately, at her one-year checkup, she was told the cancer was back, and she would need to go through those unpleasant treatments again. Many would have taken a leave of absence from the academy and come back next year, but not Summer. She quickly informed her instructors and Chief Malden that quitting was not an option, and she would continue with this academy class and promised to give it everything she had. From that day, she received the troubling news until the last day of the academy. Summer reported to class every day, even while going through those treatments. Eventually, she reached a point where she could no longer meet the physical demands required for the practical skills. But to support her fellow classmates, she came to class every day that she could with that same smile on her face. When the official academy ended, the instructors told Summer that once she got her strength back, they would make sure she could make up the classes missed to get her certification. After the chemo treatments, radiation treatments, and amputation, multiple surgeries including brain surgery, and many other setbacks, Summer completed her last firefighter certification class on Wednesday, October 27th at Fire Station 1, realizing two dreams she often wondered would ever happen. One, earning her firefighter certification, and two, completing the Wake County Fire Academy. Summer is not only an inspiration to every little boy and girl that dreams of being a firefighter, but she's an inspiration to us all. She set a goal and did not let anything derail her from reaching that goal when many others would have thrown in the towel. For that determination and drive, she was presented the Outstanding Achievement Award from the Wake County Fire Services at the Wake County Fire Commission meeting on November 18th. We are so proud of Summer and her accomplishments and wanted to share this information with you tonight. Summer, thank you and congratulations again.
Summer, will you step up here with me, please? Your dedication to fire service and fire training is incredible. We are so proud of you and so glad to have you here in the Fuquay-Varina Fire Department. What your hard work and dedication is a strong lesson, and I am very proud of you. And with that being said, what I have here to offer you, this here is a mayor's commendation. And in recognition of dedication to the Fuquay-Varina Fire Department, this mayor's commendation is hereby presented to Summer Williams. Gratitude is expressed for graduating the Wake County Fire Academy and obtaining a North Carolina Firefighter II certification. Well wishes are extended for continued success in advancing the mission of the town of Fuquay-Varina this 21st day of December 2021. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Presentation 4B, Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association Awards. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Commissioner Gardner and Downtown Manager Russell and myself.
Thank you, Mayor Massengill and citizens. The awards for the Downtown Revitalization Association, or Fuquay-Varina Downtown, were scheduled to be presented at Dinner on Depot in 2020. Unfortunately, 2020 was pretty much derailed for this and many other things. So we are grateful tonight for the recipients of the awards for 2020 to be recognized here at the Town Board, as the town and Fuquay-Varina Downtown are partners in this effort. Okay. The first award we'll be presenting tonight is the Downtown Property Improvement Award, in appreciation for making a significant improvement to a downtown property that results in increased overall appeal to our historic downtown districts. 123 Raleigh Street, known to many in Fuquay-Varina as Bradley and Sharon Welding, was built in 1947 and owned by the Bradley family until 2018, when Iron Beard LLC purchased the dilapidated property to rehabilitate it for their offices. The recipients of the Downtown Property Improvement Award saw an old building that had some challenges as an opportunity to enhance our downtown. Using their talents as an architect and engineer, they were able to breathe life back into this old building by creating a functional space that is now home to McGahee Design and Redline Engineering. Their $750,000 investment in our downtown has spurred other private investment across Raleigh Street, with facade improvements to 106, 108, 114, 116, and 118 Raleigh Street. The 2020 Downtown Property Improvement Award goes to Gary McCabe and John McGahee. The Community Impact Award is given to honor an individual or business that gives back to our community. The saying goes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And sometimes they get the rest of us going too. In March of 2020, life as we knew it in Fuquay-Varina shut down, and this small business advocate stepped up in a big way. When being interviewed for a local magazine, the recipient of this year's award was quoted as saying, "While my company was transforming itself, I launched the Fuquay-Varina Angel Fund. I recognized that state and federal aid would be slow in coming. So in the latter half of March, we raised $121,000 and distributed it on April 1st as grants to 57 brick-and-mortar small businesses in Fuquay-Varina. This was the first aid that came to Main Street in our town before unemployment checks were flowing and the first round of PPP applications went live. I was proud that this first bit of aid came from us, the community, and that it came swiftly and generously." We have to agree that Chief Angel of the Fuquay-Varina Angel Fund has a passion for helping others throughout the community and works to make the town of Fuquay-Varina a better place. Congratulations to Scott Quilty on being this year's 2020's winner of the Community Impact Award. Scott is out of town and unable to be with us this evening, but we wanted you to hear everything that he had done to establish that fund and help it be the first line of defense for our businesses here in Fuquay in an unprecedented, difficult time. Our next award is the 2020 Downtown Business of the Year. Your success as a downtown business serves as a destination for locals and tourists. By actively participating in all downtown events, you have helped preserve and sustain our historic districts. So that is the basis for the presentation of this award. During 2020, this business kept their doors open as they continued to evolve with frequently changing COVID restrictions by adding online ordering, curbside takeout, family dinners, home delivery, and patio improvements. In recognition of your commitment to successfully meeting the needs of our community during these most challenging times, we proudly present the 2020 Business of the Year Award to Vicious Fish's Tap Room and Kitchen. The Volunteer of the Year Award for 2020 is in appreciation of service and contribution to the Fuquay-Varina Downtown Historic Districts. The Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association is fortunate to have many volunteers that help us get things done throughout the year. This year's winner shares his creative talents behind the lens, capturing downtown events, and operates our favorite photo booth. In 2020, this volunteer helped us have our first online events, Dinner on Depot and On Plein Air Paint-Off. Each year, he creates a digital archive of the On Plein Air paintings submitted so that we will have the images for years to come. In addition to sharing his professional talent with our organization, he has been faithful to serve on multiple committees and projects. This spirit of generosity and service has helped sustain our organization, not just through the ravages of 2020, but over many years. The 2020 Volunteer of the Year Award goes to Jeb Graff. Our final award is the 2020 New Century Award. Just a little background on this award. For 10 years, from 1993 to 2003, Fuquay-Varina New Century was a nonprofit organization in our town with a board of directors made up of leaders from our town government and our volunteer community. Its broad mission centered primarily on developing and maintaining a sense of community that assured a balanced and responsible quality of life. With the belief that a vibrant downtown was a key to this mission, New Century worked tirelessly for the establishment of a program to revitalize our downtown core. In recognition and in honor of the important role that Fuquay-Varina New Century played in the beginning and early years of our organization, Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association presents the New Century Award each year. This award is presented to the individual or group who has made it their long-term dream to see downtown Fuquay-Varina flourish, and who has committed to the cause by offering their time, service, ideas, sweat, creativity, ingenuity, and much more over an extended period of time. Since 1987, Anne Marie Amico has been an advocate for the Fuquay-Varina community and downtown has been the recipient of Anne Marie's passion, professionalism, and enthusiasm. In 2011, Anne Marie was recognized by the state as our Main Street champion for her significant contribution to the success of the local downtown, and she continues to partner with FVDA and is a vital part of our Main Street success. Anne Marie has won multiple awards from the North Carolina Main Street program over the years for her role with the FVDA branding campaign and event Hunt 100, the Centennial Challenge. She was also instrumental in the awards we received for Dinner on Depot, Growers Market, and the On Plein Air Paint-Off. Year after year, Anne Marie advocates for our organization by committing her time and talents as a graphic designer and committee member to achieve the goals of the Main Street model in Fuquay-Varina. With the same dedication and passion she has shown for our downtown for over 30 years. She currently serves on the Economic Vitality Committee and promotes a vibrant downtown core as an economic driver in our community. For all these things and many more, Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association is proud to honor Anne Marie Amico with the 2020 New Century Award. Mayor Massagill, that concludes our awards presentation.
What I was sharing with Anne Marie is it took till the fifth person for me to remember to make sure you come over here so everybody online can see. Surprised Scott didn't throw his headphones at me. But Anne Marie, thank you for doing that. Thank you for what you've done for our community. I'm very excited with the Main Street Conference, getting to go to my first one as mayor this spring, and very much looking forward to that. What this organization does for our community is incredible. And a couple things I want to mention on each of y'all. Jeb, your photographs have been seen throughout our community, and that's neat, and that's shown through your dedication and involvement. We're here with the Downtown Association, and appreciate you very much being the Downtown Volunteer of the Year this year. That shows your dedication. Scott's not here, but I know he may be watching, and what I want Scott to make sure Scott knows is I remember when you first started doing, when COVID hit and you came out with your relief program and I reached out to you and want to quickly support your program, and many other businesses did in our community. So thank you, Scott, for what you did in our community. It made a difference in our community. The Downtown Business of the Year Award, Vicious Fishes must have just stepped out. We had lunch. What I was telling him is we had lunch today, a meeting here in town at his restaurant, and he continues to be a supporter of our community and that restaurant. They do a great job, so thank you again also. Come back to you in a minute, Anne-Marie. he stepped out also, and Redline Engineering, but as was mentioned, their location really changed our downtown from that street right there and what was seen on that street. And so that whole street's under construction right now between their building and the next door to the Cube. And so they helped spur and take that street off right there. Okay, Amber, your turn now. New Century Award is incredible right there to be able to receive that. And that's shown by your dedication and hard work for years in our community. And your brand design has been recognized, and your volunteer and hard work. And I know that you're not going after today with this award, and we appreciate what you've done and want you to stick around. And so thank you also for your hard work and dedication. Congratulations on this great honor today. So let's have one more clap for all the awardees tonight. It's the only meeting of the year that we can have fun with Christmas jackets. So it's been a tradition of mine since I was elected 8 years ago to wear a fun Christmas jacket. But these are serious moments, and I did not want to ruin their moments in the photo with a silly jacket. So thank you.
Get your collar.
Get your collar. Need some help, Austin. Thank you.
Heather's not here.
Only rule my wife said is no pictures in this jacket tonight. So. Okay. Okay, public comment period. At this time, the town clerk will first call on individuals that are in attendance and have registered to address the town board prior to the meeting. Follow those who are in attendance. The IT director will call on individuals that have virtually raised their hand via the Zoom app or by telephone. The public comment period is a time for the public to address the town board about any matter that is not subject of a scheduled public hearing. Those speaking are asked to begin by clearly stating your name and address for the public record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes in order that all who wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. Rose, do you have anybody signed up?
We only have one, Miss Elizabeth Parent.
Okay, come forward.
My name is Elizabeth Parent. I currently live at 8620 Jordan Meadow Drive, Fuquay-Varina, but I'm in the current process of purchasing 904 Old Wick Drive and moving into it as well. It came across my attention on Sunday that there is some development and rezoning going on in an adjacent lot to the cul-de-sac that I'm moving into. And that rezoning, it's listed under agenda item 11F. As it was proposed last night, my concern is the drainage. That neighborhood already experiences some drainage issues due to the town waiving a curb and gutter ordinance back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So because of that current drainage issue, in addition to the building of Adeline Place and that one actually having that ordinance in place, and all of that water is flowing to the retention pond behind the cul-de-sac that I'm moving to. And that retention pond was built for Adeline Place. It wasn't built for Northwick. It wasn't built for this new subdivision being proposed for rezoning tonight. And my concern is, as it was presented last night, it doesn't show an overlay of the 100-year floodplain. 100-year floodplain, and I ask that you guys look into that seriously, as they also don't provide any drainage issue or any measure to maintain the runoff There's no retention pond planned in the graphic that you'll see tonight, I believe. So I would ask that you guys take a look at that and take it into consideration because it's concerning. In addition to that, a lot of Bevis Marks Drive, which is the portion of the road that connects to that townhome development, a lot of that is it's built over flood hazardous soils. One intersection in particular, Hudson, I believe it's Hodgson Lane and Bevis Marks Drive, that intersection is directly over a whole bunch of flood hazardous soils. So that's a concern of mine in relation to how many homes are being built there and how many trips a day they take and how much maintenance that will cost the city. So I hope you reflect on that and make a wise decision moving forward with the developments being planned in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments tonight. That will be coming to the board meeting agenda at a future time from staff. Thank you for speaking tonight. Rose, do we have anybody else?
Yes, we have two more, and I apologize. I cannot read the names of the last names, but we have Sydney and Sharon.
Sydney, please come forward.
I'm sorry.
I can relate to that, Sydney. It's okay.
Terrible handwriting. Hey guys, my name is Sydney Gardner. I live at 908 Old Wick Drive, so I will be Elizabeth's neighbor, hopefully soon. I grew up in Northwick. It's an amazing community, and I loved it so much that when it came time for me to buy a house, I moved right back. And the house that I purchased is on Kenneth Creek. Unfortunately, the Adeline Place development and the development that has been happening in that area has contributed to a significant amount of runoff. So growing up there, I was there during Hurricane Fran and Hurricane Floyd. I remember what the creek looked like then. I played in the creek then. Now, after 0.7 inches of water, the creek is higher than it ever was at those periods of time. Now, we have videos, which I have emailed to all of you, that shows the flooding that occurs on Kenneth Creek in our backyard. My primary concern is not my property. It is that my neighbor's child is a nonverbal autistic child who is frequently playing in that creek. When that creek picks up, it picks up quick, and it goes fast. All of the water can also be seen in videos from Bevis Marks Drive flooding after the development of Adeline Place. Our concern, as Elizabeth pointed out, is that if this area behind our house is allowed to have a high-density development placed on it, the additional strain that will happen to the creek would affect not only our property, but the lives of the children in this neighborhood. So we would like for you all to consider that and take that into consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Rose, you said we have one more person?
Yes, Sharon.
Sharon, will you please come forward?
Hello. Hi, I'm Sharon Henderson. It's good to see you all tonight. I'm a realtor. I live at 803 Barneswick Drive. I've been in Northwick subdivision for the last 26 years. Last night we had, of course, the planning meeting, and I just wanted to mention to you all that there was something that was said in regards to some of the homes being built on floodplains. And so the people who actually called, that came out and spoke last night, none of their homes were built on floodplains. They do adjoin Kenneth Creek, and there is issues there, of course. That's where the floodplain would be, but the people who spoke last night, their homes are not built on floodplains. Since Adeline Place has been built, we have seen an enormous change in the way that we are handling water. It's flooding, guys. And I've sent, as Sydney mentioned, we have sent to you all videos so that you can actually see it. We have one neighbor who has a 5-foot sinkhole, and you can actually see when it happened on that day in that video. You can see the water heading towards his home and going underground. We're having issues, and it's concerning. And I want to ask you all this. I know that, yes, it is zoned high density. But if you all had an issue on that property with lead, would you permit them to build? And I mean, there should be like a fail-safe. This was zoned in 1999. It's with all the building that's going on and the changes and the way that this area is handling water, because a tremendous amount of water is going into our water system and into the retention ponds. And it's not holding it. It's not enough. And it is a concern for human life because it's slippery out there around those banks. So I'm going to ask you guys that question. If there were other issues with high-density property, would it qualify for building? Because I don't think it would. This is a real issue for us, and I just want to submit that to you all today, that it looks like there should be something done, that we can consult attorneys, that something could be done to address this situation, because we're going to wash away. And I think, Blake, your dad's the builder of that neighborhood. We're going to wash away. So it's a problem, and we're going to ask you all to please look into it. We need your help. I don't think it's out of line for us to ask for the city to help protect us. So I thank you so much. I hope every one of you all has a very blessed holiday, and Merry Christmas. Good day to you all.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. That neighborhood was developed in the 90s, and compared to today's rules, are completely different rules in regards to stormwater maintenance and stormwater drainage, and that's where a lot of the rules that are in place today are rules to help stormwater runoff in different neighborhoods, where different neighborhoods are not, when they're after they're developed following state guidelines, and makes an improvement from where they have been in the past. What you see later on tonight's agenda is a first reading, which is not a public hearing or a board vote or discussion or anything on it tonight, just simply to make the public aware that it will be coming in the future. And so it served its purpose 100% because you're being made aware of it and your neighbors, and we encourage you to participate in the future at the meeting when we take that agenda item up. So thank y'all for coming tonight. Rose, do we have anybody else in the audience?
That's it.
Scott, do you have anybody online?
There's no hand raised.
No hands raised online?
Yep.
Okay. That concludes our public comment period. I'd like to add an item to the agenda momentarily for presentations to discuss. I do believe that a form of Santa Claus has just arrived here in the building, and it's an exciting time. Representative Aaron Perret is here. Would you mind, Representative Perret, coming forward to the podium here and telling the folks the good news, what's happening right before Christmas?
Thank you so much. It's good to be here. I'm Erin Perret. I'm your representative to the North Carolina State House for District 37, which is Southern Wake County. Of course, that includes almost all of Fuquay-Varina. So I'm really pleased to be here and honored to be here to give you some excellent news tonight, and that is to present to the town a whopping $10 million in state investment in Fuquay-Varina as far as transportation and infrastructure goes. So I can break that down a little bit. Of course, I brought my gigantic fake check as a ceremonial token that I'd like to present here tonight. But this is really quite transformational for the region, not just Fuquay-Varina, but the region. It's a game changer. As we know, the whole area is changing because we have so many people who want to move here and live here. And so our roads are facing some challenges, not just now, but into the future. So part of my job as your state representative is to make sure that the tax money that is sent to the state by our citizens is recommitted back in our community to solve problems here instead of other parts of the state. And I have to say, this state investment of $10 million is unprecedented, and it's going to make a big difference, not just in Fuquay-Varina, but the region. So we targeted, with the guidance of the town of Fuquay-Varina, 2 specific projects, top priority projects for Fuquay-Varina. Of course, one is the connection of 401 and 401, which takes pressure off 5 Points. I think we can all agree that that is much needed, and it's going to be quite an impressive improvement for that area. And also a safety improvement to Johnson Pond and Whitted Road, that intersection there. So I have to say, even though I'm happy and honored to be here, that it would not happen without the participation and the close collaboration of the staff here in the town of Fuquay-Varina. Mayor Byrne was obviously part of this all of last year. Mayor Massengill, and the wonderful and talented Adam Mitchell. You all were very patient as this process went along over almost the entire year. Adam took all my texts and phone calls, even in odd times of the day and over the weekend, as we sorted out the nuts and the bolts. We dotted all the I's, crossed the T's, and we followed it pretty closely. So I really enjoy my working relationship here with the town of Fuquay-Varina, and I look forward to continuing that excellent working relationship and making sure that Fuquay-Varina not only has a voice at the state level, but we have the state investment and cooperation with the state that we need to move the town forward. So, excellent news. And with that, if it's okay with you, Mayor, I'd like to bring up our gigantic fake check and do a little presentation with you, please.
Representative Prey, we would love that. I can come down here and join you down here and call up former Mayor John Byrne. Also, just have to do a little jacket change.
Mayor, I don't know if it's okay with you, but would it be okay to invite Adam Mitchell to take the picture too? He was quite instrumental in that.
Let's present it and we'll have him down there.
Unfortunately, I forgot a zero.
He does.
Current mayor, former mayor, Representative Ray, hold the check maybe, and step forward here for the picture.
Representative Prey, you can't take the check back with you completely now, unless we trade up for a real one, which we will. Thank you. As you mentioned, your hard work you did with this board. We appreciate you very much, and this is a monumentous occasion, the amount of money that you're helping out Fuquay-Varina. And as we know, traffic and infrastructure is hugely important, and you've been a huge supporter and ally of that. So thank you for continuing to support Fuquay-Varina, and thank you for helping us. And I have former Mayor John Byrne, as you mentioned. John, would you like to please say some words?
I just want to make a comment or two, and for a whole board, really to hear this. We did this just like we've done all of the other things in the past. When a newly elected official, and Erin was a newly elected official, she called me one day, and she said, "What can I help Fuquay-Varina with? What can I help Fuquay-Varina with?" And I got our manager, Adam Mitchell, engaged. We came up with a list of, it was a little more than two things, but it was a list of things. And what was it, about four or five projects that were significant to us, projects that we were going to try our best to figure out a way to do somehow or another. Our board had really wanted to do these projects. We had talked about them at retreat. And I think Erin was nervous as a cat, to tell you the honest truth. I really believe that she was. But she was a good listener. You could tell she cared. And you could tell she wanted to do and help Fuquay-Varina. Now, this process, it wasn't just that. That was just the beginning of the process. Aaron worked very, very hard over the next, I don't know, 10 months. And we were having dialogue back and forth. Adam was always keeping me abreast, and what I always tried to do was get management involved because they know the details. Erin had never served on a town board. She didn't necessarily know how town boards worked. Which town board did you serve on? Board of Adjustments. Well, you didn't serve on the board itself, so you didn't know exactly how it worked, but you had an idea. And we worked closely, and I think that Aaron grew a lot during this process, and I know Fuquay-Varina grew with our team, and it was something that kind of evolved over a lot of her hard work for our community. It was ever changing. You know, we would make 2 steps forward, and we'd make a step back. Commissioner or our Mayor Pro Tem Blake Massengale was involved in it as we moved through it. And yeah, this was an exciting thing for Fuquay-Varina, and it's 2 projects that will make a difference transportation-wise, you know, in Fuquay-Varina. And you know, we appreciate you very much and appreciate what you've done to help Fuquay-Varina, but all of southern Wake County and the region, because one of these projects is certainly a big regional project that will make a big difference in the southern end of Wake County. But thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it very much. And Mayor, thank you for letting me speak a little bit here tonight.
Thank you. Leave the jacket off for now. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Next up, item 8. What is the board's pleasure on the items on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve consent agenda items 8A and 8B as presented and recommended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on our agenda tonight, we have administrative reports. Item 10A, discussion of E49 elementary school name. More information about this agenda will be presented by town managers.
Thank you, Mayor. So the purpose of this agenda item is to discuss potential future school names for the E49 elementary school to be located on Bowling Road in the vicinity of South Main Street, US 401, and agree on a preferred name to communicate to the Wake County Public School System. As the Wake County Public School System moves ahead with planning and design for the future elementary school now known as E49, the Wake County Board of Education will soon need to name the elementary school. Under School Board Policy 9300, schools in the Wake County Public School System shall be named in accordance with the school's geographic location or similar site-specific identifiers such as roads, streets, or natural or historical features. The Wake County Public School System staff have reviewed the site and performed research with historic maps and have offered the following preliminary names for the Wake County Board of Education Facilities Committee to consider. The first being Bowling Road Elementary. The school is located on Bowling Road. The second being Kenneth Creek Elementary. Kenneth Creek is the nearest notable geographic feature located at the eastern boundary of the property. And the third being Southern Fuquay-Varina Elementary. This identifies the area of Fuquay-Varina in which the school site is to be located. Other potential considerations for the town board to be aware of when deciding a preferred name to communicate to the Wake County public school system as a preference are as follows. First, the elementary school will be developed adjacent to a new location of Fuquay-Varina Middle School. The Fuquay-Varina Middle School opening is slated for 2024, and E49 Elementary School is slated for 2025. There is an existing Fuquay-Varina Elementary School, therefore that name is not available. Third, town management does not believe that the Wake County Board of Education will support any form of South Main Street Elementary School or Main Street Elementary School due to the anticipated confusion with the numerous main streets located in Wake County. Fourth, directional names, for example, Southern Fuquay-Varina Elementary School, are allowed by school board policy and have been approved by the Wake County Board of Education in recent years. While no future Wake County public school system elementary schools are planned further south than this site, it is worth noting that an additional elementary school could conceivably be built in the future further south of this site, particularly as the town continues to experience growth in the southeast. And finally, fifth, schools may not be named after people living or deceased. The Wake County Board of Education Facilities Committee had a preliminary discussion of school planning and potential names on December 15th of this year. Following this discussion, the Facilities Committee preliminarily recommended Bowling Road Elementary School and expressed interest in receiving the town board's input prior to the Board of Education considering a name. Historically, the Wake County Public School System staff have sought input from the Board of Education Facilities Committee and the Town Board of Commissioners prior to the Board of Education taking action to approve new school names in the town of Fuquay-Varina. There is an opportunity to consider alternative names if the town board prefers a different name that aligns with the Board of Education's facility naming policy. Following the town board discussion of potential names for E49, I'm recommending that the town board express its preference via a motion. The town board's preference will be shared with the Wake County Board of Education, and final approval of a name is anticipated at the regular meeting of the Board of Education on January 18th of 2022. I'm recommending either Bowling Road Elementary School or Kenneth Creek Elementary School as the preferred school name to communicate back to the Wake County Public School System Board of Education. There is no fiscal note to report on this, as it is simply a naming recommendation to the Board of Education. The recommendation to the town board this evening is by motion to communicate to the Wake County Board of Education the town of Fuquay-Varina's preference to name the future elementary school E49 as, and you will fill in the blank. I'm happy to answer any questions that the town board might have.
Thank you, Manager, for that report right there. My comments in regard to it is, when you made a comment that Fuquay-Varina Middle School will be there in the future, it will be still named Fuquay-Varina Middle School at a later date. I do like using street names to name schools, as it helps for a location for people to find, and I do think creeks are not as familiar as streets are often for people, so I think this is a good recommendation, but looking for any other board comments?
I just have one question. Do we know where the name Bowling Road came from? Is there any significance to that road name? Is that named after anyone in particular?
I'm not certain, to be honest with you. I don't know if anybody else from management has any insight on that, but I'm not certain if that's a family name from that area, or if that
Manager, it was
somebody
named,
just uses a 16-pound ball to go down the lane with.
Okay.
and it was named Sewer Treatment Road at one point, and it was changed to Bowling Road since the past 8 years.
We actually had a separate town access that was sewer treatment plant. Sewer treatment plant. I'm not sure if those two were the one and the same, or if they were separate.
Okay. Commissioner Harris, think you had a comment?
Yes.
I would not recommend sewer treatment plant elementary school.
Not recommending that. I just recall that road being renamed.
I thought I better speak up.
That's right.
I really prefer Bowling Road Elementary because it just identifies a location, and I think if you did have Kenneth Creek, that's sort of confusing about where on Kenneth Creek. I think Bowling Road is specific enough wherein it would justify naming the facility that.
Okay.
Any other comment?
We have no further comments or discussion. Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to communicate to the Wake County Board of Education the town of Fuquay-Varina's preference to the name of the future elementary school E49 as Bowling Road Elementary.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We got a new elementary school. Exciting.
Of course, this is the site for the elementary and middle school for the board and the public's viewing.
Kenneth Branch is what used to be called.
That's right. Before that, it was
Road.
sewer treatment plant. Right?
That was sewer treatment road. You're right.
Yes, sir.
Bowling Road's always been named that. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have item 10B, Municipal Agreement NCDOT R-5705B. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Management and Engineering Director Poling.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider authorizing me as your manager to enter into a municipal agreement with NCDOT for the Transportation Improvement Project R-5705B. The North Carolina Department of Transportation, or NCDOT, Division of Highways, Project R-5705, proposes to improve NC-55, the NC-55 corridor, from south of State Route 1532 Oak Grove Church Road in Harnett County to NC-42 in Fuquay-Varina, Wake County, to multi-lanes. In addition, the proposed roadway improvements will bypass the town of Anger to the west and be constructed as a 4-lane median divided roadway. This project encompasses approximately 11.5 miles of roadway and is intended to relieve congestion and improve mobility along the NC-55 corridor. The overall project is divided into 3 construction segments. Segment R-5705B is the segment that is relevant to the action proposed this evening and covers widening NC-55 to multi-lanes from NC-210 to State Route 4809, or Jicarilla Road, for approximately 4.54 miles and encompasses all pedestrian improvements associated with the new roadway improvements. NCDOT requests that the town enter into a municipal agreement that sets out conditions and responsibilities for both entities to improve pedestrian facilities as a part of the roadway construction. NCDOT will be responsible for designing and constructing the corresponding R-5705B pedestrian improvements, while the town will maintain the pedestrian improvements after complete construction. Pedestrian improvements will include the construction of 5-foot sidewalks with curb and gutter, and provide a pedestrian crossing in the proximity of the Hidden Valley subdivision and proposed Saunders Farm subdivision entranceways on NC-55. As specified in the municipal agreement, the town will only be responsible for maintaining pedestrian improvements within the town's municipal limits. In October, for the portion of R-5705B that extends into the town of Anger, Harnett County, the town of Anger executed a municipal agreement to maintain similar pedestrian improvements within their jurisdiction. These new construction pedestrian betterment improvements will be 100% paid for by NCDOT. The town won't have to put a dime into the construction. The municipal agreement states that upon completion of these new pedestrian improvements, the town will be responsible for maintaining the improvements, where future costs for maintenance will be the town's responsibility. The town has entered into similar betterment agreements with NCDOT, as NCDOT typically does not maintain sidewalks or related pedestrian facilities. As a fiscal note, the proposed R-5705B pedestrian construction improvements will be, again, completely funded by NCDOT, and no town funds are required to make these pedestrian capital improvements. However, the municipal agreement does, again, stipulate that the town will be responsible for costs associated with the maintenance of the new improvements as identified in the scope of work. The recommendation to the town board this evening is by motion to authorize me as your manager to enter into a municipal agreement with the North Carolina Department of Transportation for the Transportation Improvement Project R-5705B, subject to the approval by the town attorney as to form. A couple of other quick points of note here. In the past, betterment improvement projects have come at a cost to the town. Usually it's an 80-20 split where the town participates at 20%. In this case, DOT is agreeing to pay 100% of these betterment improvements for pedestrian facilities. And it is worth noting here that should the town not wish to enter into this agreement, it is unlikely that these betterment improvements would be built at all. So we're going to get pedestrian improvements. We'll have a maintenance responsibility moving forward, which is not uncommon, and we won't have to pay anything to have these improvements constructed. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
I think anytime we can get DOT to pay 100% of something, that's a pretty good day in Fuquay-Varina. What's the timeline for them expecting this project to be complete?
That I'll have to defer to our engineering director. If you'll step to the podium, speak to that.
Good evening, everybody. So these improvements are expected to be completed in 2023, essentially. Right now, they are in the right-of-way acquisition phase, so they are out making offers, easements, right-of-way, and they will soon go to construction in the 22-23 fiscal year. So,
that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further comments or discussion from the board?
I like that price.
I like free.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good night. We got DOT to pay for a bunch of stuff and got $10 million from the state. It's a good day for Fuquay-Varina. Entertain a motion, please.
Mayor Massengill, I move that we authorize the town manager to enter into a municipal agreement with the North Carolina Department of Transportation for the Transportation Improvement Project R-5705B, subject to approval by the town attorney as to form.
Second.
We got a motion. We got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is item 10C, resolution authorizing upset bid process, 0 Ransdale Road and 0 Ransdale Road. More information will be presented by Town Manager Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a resolution authorizing an upset bid process for the sale of property owned by the town of Fuquay-Varina to Mr. Rick Hancock. Mr. Rick Hancock has made an offer to purchase 2 contiguous town-owned properties located at 0 Ransdale Road. The property identification numbers are 0667114773, consisting of .07 acres, and 0667113832, consisting of .92 acres, for a total of just shy of 1 acre, .99 acres. The total Wake County tax value of these 2 properties is $30,800. Mr. Hancock has indicated that at this time he has no immediate plans to develop the property if acquired. Both pieces of property are zoned residential medium density and classified as downtown in the town's 2035 land use plan. The attached proposed resolution is pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 160A-269, where a city may receive, solicit, and negotiate an offer to purchase property and advertise it for upset bids. When an offer is made and the council proposes to accept it, the council shall require the offeror to deposit 5% of his bid or her bid with the town clerk, and shall publish a notice of the offer. The notice shall contain a general description of the property, the amount of the terms of the offer, and a notice that within 10 days any person may raise the bid by not less than 10% of the first $1,000 and 5% of the remainder. When a bid is raised, the bidder shall deposit with the city clerk 5% of the increased bid, and the clerk shall re-advertise the offer at the increased bid. This procedure shall be repeated until no further qualifying upset bids are received, at which time the council may accept the offer and sell the property to the highest bidder. The town shall have the right to reject the offer by Mr. Hancock or any upset bidder to purchase the property at any time prior to the final acceptance of this offer pursuant to the statute, and this agreement shall be null and void upon such rejections. All deposits shall be returned, and the parties shall have no further obligations. Mr. Hancock is making an offer to purchase the town-owned property located at 0 Ransdale Road and 0 Ransdale Road for $62,000. The buyer has made the bid deposit as required by state statute. The recommendation to the town board this evening is by motion to adopt the proposed resolution as presented and authorize me as your manager to execute the sale of town-owned property upon the completion of the upset bid period pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 160A-269. The resolution has been reviewed by the town attorney as to form and content and is in the best interest of the public. I'm happy to answer any questions that the town board may have.
Thank you, Manager. As we've discussed before, I think any time we can get a piece of property that does not pay property taxes to pay in property taxes is a good day. Any further discussion by the board? Any comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to adopt the proposed resolution as presented and authorize the town manager to execute the sale of town-owned property upon the completion of the upset bid period pursuant to NC General Statute 160A-269. The resolution has been reviewed by the town attorney as to form and content and is in the interest of the public.
We got a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10D, resolution authorizing upset bid process, 0 West Academy Street. More information will be presented by Town Manager Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a resolution authorizing an upset bid process for sale of property owned by the town of Fuquay-Varina to Mr. Mike Riddick. Mr. Mike Riddick has made an offer to purchase town-owned property located at 0 West Academy Street, property identification number 0656572439, consisting of approximately 4.03 acres with a Wake County tax value of $265,722. Town management has discussed the buyer's intended use for the property. Mr. Riddick has agreed as a condition to purchase the property that he must make application for a land use plan amendment changing small lot residential to highway commercial and a zoning amendment from heavy industrial to corridor commercial. These land use classifications and restrictions will be memorialized in a deed restriction. The proposed resolution, again, is pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 160A-269, and it follows the same procedures that I just previously mentioned with the previous agenda item in terms of the upset bid process. The town shall have the right to reject the offer by Mr. Riddick or any upset bidder to purchase the town property at any time prior to the final acceptance of the offer pursuant to statute, and this agreement shall be null and void upon such rejection. All deposits shall be returned, and the parties shall have no further obligations. As a fiscal note, Mr. Mike Riddick is making an offer to purchase the town-owned property located at 0 West Academy Street, property identification number 0656572439, for $325,000. The buyer has made a bid deposit as required by state statute. The recommendation to the town board this evening is by motion to adopt the proposed resolution as presented and authorize me as your manager to execute the sale of town-owned property upon the completion of the upset bid period pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 160A-269. The resolution has been reviewed by the town attorney as to form and content and is in the interest of the public. I'm happy to answer any questions that the town board may have.
Any further discussion or thoughts, questions for management from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt the proposed resolution as presented and authorize the town manager to execute the sale of property upon the completion of the upset bid period pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 160A-269. The resolution has been reviewed by the town attorney as to form and content, and it is in the interest of the public.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Town of Fuquay-Varina's gotten a lot of money tonight. It's a good day for the taxpayers. Next on our agenda, we have other business. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things to update the board on. Here we are, wrapping up the 2021 calendar year. It's hard to believe. It's gone by pretty quickly. We have a lot to be excited about today. Management and our communications director sat down and began talking through what Mayor Massengale will eventually present as the State of the Town address next year. And there's quite a bit on our list of accomplishments to be very proud of in the 2021 year. We are continuing to fill vacant positions in our various departments. We recently hired Jacob Ritchie as the new Assistant Parks and Grounds Superintendent in the Parks and Recreation Cultural Resources Department, and we hired Nancy Spruill as an IT technician in our IT department. We're wrapping up our Christmas holiday events at the Art Center, and we're making preparations for our 2022 slate of events, which is ever growing for the Arts Center. So we're excited about what's to come there. We've hired Corey McLean as a street maintenance worker in our Public Works Department. And as you will see in your agenda materials, we have our Finance Department has worked hard to prepare our financial quarterly report, as well as preparing to kick off, hard to believe, the audit ends, and here we come again, kick off the fiscal year 23 annual budget development process. Quite a bit going on in development services, as always. Our planning department, building inspections department, engineering, public utilities, they're all staying quite busy here as we're wrapping up the 2021 calendar year. A few more things just to bring to your attention. Again, the financial quarterly report. I will say that our numbers are trending well after the first quarter. We are meeting or exceeding budget expectations. Growth has a lot to play into that. However, the board taking a solid look at the budget process when developing it and making sure that we're budgeting appropriately also plays a significant factor in us trending the way we are. So definitely want to recognize both staff and board for the work that they're doing to manage this year's budget process. Our town offices will be closed for the observance of Christmas and New Year's. We will be closed on December 23rd, 24th, and 27th as we do follow the state's adopted holiday schedule, and December 31st. We will have a Coffee with a Cop event kicking off the 22 calendar year. Meridian at Broad Street Market Apartments will be hosting this Coffee with a Cop on Tuesday, January 4th at 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. I want to remind the board and the public that our community will be celebrating the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration that is hosted and prepared and planned by the Cultural Arts Society of Fuquay-Varina. That will be on January 17th at 10:30 a.m. to about 1:15 p.m. And in your agenda materials, we included the program and the map for the march that will take place that day. So please familiarize yourself with that, and if your schedule permits, plan to attend. As mentioned a little bit earlier in our agenda, we do have a number of first readings. I'll quickly just review those. The zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment submitted by Dan Ryan Builders. This is for 0 Beavis Marks Drive and a portion of 260 Bramble Hill Drive. This is rezoning petition 2021-09. This is the first reading. It was heard by the planning board last night and will come before the town board at a future meeting, I believe January 3rd. The zoning map amendment, the second first reading to mention to you tonight, the zoning map amendment submitted by Kelly G. Race, BGE Incorporated. This is for a portion of 1605 Holland Road. This was a first reading, but I believe last night this was officially withdrawn. Is that correct? So this will not come before the town board at the January 3rd meeting. A zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment submitted by Gray Methevin, Wakefield Development, 8537 Lake Wheeler Road, rezoning petition 2021-10. The first reading was provided to you in your agenda materials, but my understanding is at the planning board meeting last night this was tabled. And so it will not come before you on January 3rd, but perhaps will come before you at a future town board meeting. And finally, town code amendment. This is our land development ordinance amendment number 16, CTA 2021-05. This is a pretty substantial amendment to our land development ordinance, and so a lot of content here. This is the first reading, and I encourage the town board to take the opportunity to take a look at this prior to our January 3rd meeting. It was recommended out of the planning board favorably last night. And with that, I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We're looking forward to 2022. We've got a lot of great programs and events and projects planned for next calendar year. Hopefully we're going to emulate, if not exceed, the many successes that we've had here in 2021. Capping it off tonight with the $10 million check presentation from Representative Perret, I think is the exclamation point on it for us. And it goes to the vision setting and the hard work by the elected officials to move those types of big announcements forward. And so congratulations on that. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I stand down.
Thank you, Manager, for that report. Does anybody have any questions on Manager's report or items? Okay. Next item on the agenda is item 12A. This is the election of the Mayor Pro Tempore. I'll be leading the discussion on that item right here. I served Mayor Pro Tem for 6 years here in Fuquay-Varina, 6 of the last 6 years, 8 years being on the board. And Mayor Pro Tem's job and role is not just to preside over a meeting if the mayor is unavailable, but also to be in the community and represent the mayor at various events that we have in town, whether it is related to the Chamber of Commerce, Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association, or any other item that may be in our community. But the Mayor Pro Tem represents the mayor. And I've had a conversation with Commissioner Larry Smith about being Mayor Pro Tem, and that would be my recommendation for this board today via motion, would be to elect Larry Smith as your Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor, I want to have just a brief discussion in regards to the recommendation. I'm aware that we have procedures for electing a mayor pro tem that have been in place since 1995, and those procedures do not necessarily recommend that the mayor make the recommendation for mayor pro tem, but there's a procedure that outlines how the mayor pro tem office is to be shared among commissioners. And one of the language in those procedures outline that the mayor pro tem office will rotate. It will go to the commissioner that has served, has the longest consecutive tenure, and that commissioner will serve as mayor pro tem for 2 years, and then it will transfer over to the other commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
And in regards to my recommendation, it would be that we would follow that procedure because I think that those procedures were recommended as well as outlined and approved by prior boards. And I would think that we should follow that recommendation, which would make the commissioner who has served the longest consecutive years be eligible for the seat of mayor pro tem. The criteria does not outline anything about a person being necessarily available for mayor pro tem. The procedures outline that in the absence of the mayor pro tem will in fact chair the meetings, and if the mayor becomes incapacitated, then the mayor pro tem will in turn fulfill the obligations of the mayor. So the other criteria that was mentioned was not necessarily criteria that should dictate the selection of a mayor pro tem. And I think that we as a board, we need to follow that procedure. I think that's out of respect for the other commissioners, as well as it allows the rotation of the office of mayor pro tem, and it depoliticizes that office. So I want to bring the board aware, and you, Mr. Mayor, aware that that is the equitable procedure for selection of a mayor pro tem.
Mr. Town Attorney, I'm aware of some of the guidelines that Commissioner Harris has mentioned, but I know there's been some revisions over the years. Can you speak in regards to those for me, please, sir?
Right. The procedure that Commissioner Harris was describing was in the revision that was December 20th of 2005, but they asked me to pull together this afternoon all the rules and procedures up to date. The most recent revision was April 21st of 2009, and in that revision, and I have the red line to it, that provision was taken out. And on page 5, it states, Office of the Mayor Pro Tempore. At the organizational meeting, the board shall elect from among its members a mayor pro tem to serve at the pleasure of the board. The election shall be for a 2-year term. And prior to that, it was that rotating provision with the longest serving commissioner. But that was changed in 2009, and that's the most recent revision. And I've confirmed that with the clerk as well.
Would you repeat that? Would you repeat that language again? I just wanted to be sure.
It's page 5 of the Rules of Procedure. It says, at the organization meeting, the board shall elect from among its members a mayor pro tem to serve at the pleasure of the board. The election shall be for a 2-year term.
Yes, it says the board and not necessarily a recommendation from the mayor. I think that that's one of the things historically that we have gotten off of track with in regards to making that authority for that position totally be influenced by the mayor. Not saying that. I just think procedurally we need to look at that from the standpoint of equitable consideration for any commissioner who would be interested in being mayor pro tem. Those are my comments, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Harris, and that's why I did ask Town Attorney to have that information ready for tonight, with in expectation of those comments. The board here elects their mayor pro tem. I believe the mayor pro tem represents the mayor, and I have made a recommendation of who I think should be the mayor pro tem. The board here may see fit to not agree with my recommendation, but that is my recommendation.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a... okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Commissioner Watson.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to confirm that Commissioner Smith was open to being selected.
Here.
If the board so moves for me to be the mayor pro tem, I would be proud to serve in that capacity if you also vote in that direction.
Okay.
Thank you. Do we have any motions for Commissioner Smith to be mayor pro tem?
I think that committee. Did you have anything else?
Yes, I have a.
Discussion?
I will yield to you if you had a comment.
No, I'm ready to make a motion.
Do you have any further discussion or ready for a motion, Commissioner?
Well, I was going to, okay.
Go ahead and make a motion, Commissioner Gardner.
Comment.
Mayor Massingill, I move that we elect Commissioner Larry Smith to serve a 2-year term appointment as mayor pro tempore for the town of Fuquay-Varina.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item 12B, election of appointments, will be the next point. This is town board committees and other organizations. Town board appointments that I'm making: Law and Finance Committee Chair, Commissioner Marilyn Gardner. Law and Finance Committee Member, Larry Smith. Law and Finance Committee Member, Tracy Watson. Public Works Committee Chair, Bill Harris. Public Works Committee Member, Brian Haynes. Committee Member, Marilyn Gardner. Economic Development Committee Chair, Marilyn Gardner. Member, Bill Harris. Member, Larry Smith. Public Safety Committee, Larry Smith, Chair. Member, Tracy Watson. Member, Brian Haynes. Chamber of Commerce, by definition, the mayor is the ex officio member. The Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association, the town liaison shall be Commissioner Marilyn Gardner. Campo, mayor serves as executive board first chair. Commissioner Larry Smith as executive board alternate. Fuquay-Varina Museums Board, Commissioner Marilyn Gardner, town liaison. Triangle J Council of Government Board of Delegates, Commissioner Tracy Watson will be the town delegate. Commissioner Larry Smith will be the alternate town delegate. These are my town board committee appointments. We will be ratifying the other boards here shortly. These right here need a motion, manager, is that correct or no? Okay.
They do not. Those are at the discretion of the mayor to appoint.
Those will be my appointments right there, and you'll provide everybody on the board a reminder or a copy of what board they're on after the meeting, please. Okay.
Thank you. That was going so fast I couldn't even get it down.
We'll
so
make
thank
sure.
you.
We'll
It's a
make sure
bunch of them.
we email the board members.
Everybody made aware of them. Item 12C, this will take a ratification vote. Item 12C is going to be appointments to town advisory boards and committees consisting of Planning Board, Board of Adjustment, and Parks and Rec advisory boards. Planning Board appointments. Michelle Peel, reappointment, term will end December 31st, 2024. All terms end December 31st, that I will be reading. Ed Redpath, reappointment, term will end 2024. Catherine Townsend, new appointment, term will end 2022. She is filling Commissioner Watson's unexpired term. Jay Adcock, recommending reappointment to the Wake County Board of Commissioners, term will end 2024. I am seeking a motion from the town board to ratify these appointments. Do we have a motion?
So moved as presented and recommended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Board of Adjustment appointments. Cassandra Flowers, new appointment. Her term will end, all of these again, December 31st, 2024. Andrew Rubley, new appointment. Filling Cassandra Flowers, alternate member spot. Term will end 2023. Michelle Braxton, this is a recommendation of reappointment to the Wake County Board of Commissioners, term ending 2024. Wake County will approve her position. I am seeking a motion from the town board to ratify these appointments.
Mayor Massengill, I move that we ratify these appointments as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'm appointing Mike Dorman to continue serving as a chair of the Board of Adjustment for 2022. Also, under Planning Board appointments, I failed to mention appointing Andy Petty to serve as the chair of the Planning Board for the 2022 to 2023 term. Let's make another motion on those two for formalities. So I'll let those out, please.
Mr. Mayor, the appointment of chair is at the discretion of the mayor. It does not require ratification from the board.
Okay, y'all don't have to vote on that. Parks and Recreation, thank you, Manager. Parks and Recreation Advisory Board appointments. New appointment, Jason Wunsch, term will end December 31st, 2024. All of these again in December. Hugh Johnson, new appointment, term will end 2024. I'm seeking a motion from the town board to ratify these appointments.
Mr. Mayor, I move to ratify the appointments for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm appointing Jason Wunsch to serve as the chair of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for 2022 to 2023 term. Board, I also will be appointing an ETJ representation to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board at a future meeting. We have a couple of those positions that need to finish being vetted before we send those to Wake County. So we'll be bringing those back to you in the future with that. Okay, those appointments are complete. We shall move to town board member comments. Commissioner Gardner.
Well, this is an exciting end of the year meeting. It's been different from anyone I've participated in my 6 years. So, but very exciting things happening for our town, and I'm really thrilled about them. Thank you again for allowing us to recognize the award recipients for Fuquay-Varina downtown. It's almost time to do the awards for 2021. The awards for 2021. We finally got to recognize them, so thank you very much for that. Also, the Town Employee Luncheon was really such a nice event. I'm sorry it failed that so many of our board members could not be there. I know that Tracy Watson and Brian Haynes were in class with the School of Government due to their new positions on the board, and I didn't know that day. But I'm sorry you missed it because it is a fun event, and I really enjoyed being there, and I appreciate everything our staff does. They're just amazing.
Thank you, Commissioner Garner. I'll hold my comments on that at the end. I agree. Commissioner Harris.
I just wish that everyone would have a happy holiday, and you'll be blessed. You and your families are safe.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, let me just say thank you to my fellow board members for placing your confidence in me to be the Mayor Pro Tempore for the next 2 years. I'm honored by that and humbled by that. Thank you very much. Obviously, I missed the last meeting due to surgery. I did watch the meeting, but I did not dare weigh in because I was still on medication, but I did watch the meeting. And while I missed out on the swearing-in ceremony of our new mayor and our 2 newest commissioners, it was very exciting, very well done, and I look forward to working with our new colleagues on the board. And what I hope will be an exciting 2022 as we go forward for our town. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also hate that I missed the town employee luncheon as a retiree. I like to attend it, but we had a funeral that we had to attend, and we could not be here. So for that purpose, we couldn't be there. And I join with Commissioner Harris in wishing each of you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I do look forward to what 2022 has in store for our board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. Commissioner Haynes.
Sure. As was already said, we hate that we missed the town employee luncheon. I got numerous calls, text messages, and asking them, where are you at? And I had to respond back to all of them, but we had a wonderful time in the Essentials of Municipal Government that was sponsored by the UNC School of Government and North Carolina League of Municipalities. We learned a lot. They froze us to death in the classes, but we enjoyed that as well. I was able. I had Pontiac Community Center had a successful food giveaway. We took care of about 300 families for a full ham lunch, dinner for Christmas. So we were excited about that and thankful for all the volunteers and supporters and donators throughout the community, churches and everybody and businesses who supported that. I was able to make opening comments at St. Augustine Missionary Baptist Church's Christmas play this past Sunday. The play was called Lord, the COVID Done Changed Christmas. So I enjoyed that, as well as last Saturday I was able to attend the Arts Inspired Dance Academy's drama presentation that they had that afternoon. I wasn't able to make the morning dance studio one, but I was able to meet drama one, as well as today, right before this meeting at 6 o'clock. They partnered with Pontiac Community Center, and we did a toy giveaway. So those young ladies worked very hard and decorated Christmas trees and did toys and gave out stockings to many different families in Fuquay-Varina community. So I'm very thankful and excited for them. And definitely wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And there will be something I'll be bringing before about Martin Luther King that we'll be trying to make sure that we take care of all the students who will be out of school on Martin Luther King Day and giving them free lunches that day. So I'm working with a few organizations to do that coming up on Martin Luther King Day since they will be out of school. That's all my comments for this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Haynes. Commissioner Watson, any comments?
We, as it's been stated, we attended the Essentials of Municipalities on Thursday and Friday, so we did miss that lunch. Besides a lot of learning and freezing, we did meet many of our newly elected officials around Wake County and got to network with them and start making those connections, so that was exciting. This was a nice first meeting to end our year. Seeing Summer Williams here and recognizing her and her accomplishments was very special. So I was glad to take part in that. Over the last weekend, my son surprised me by coming into town. I wasn't aware that he was flying in. His dad kept it a secret from us, so that was exciting. I spent Saturday over at the Masonic Lodge downtown. We were sorting holiday gifts that were donated by local businesses, local residents, and those have been distributed through the weekend and through today. Some more distributed tomorrow to our North Carolina military members and veterans. We don't have a final count, but it's looking like we're going to be able to provide Christmas to over 400 military children and their families. That includes toys and as well as meal boxes for them. So that is very special. And I want to also send my thoughts and prayers out to Mike Dorman, our Executive Director at Military Missions in Action, and to his family. As many know, Mike is in the hospital right now, fighting and healing, and just want to send them out our thoughts and prayers as he continues through the holiday, and wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Commissioner Watson. And as I appointed Mike back as chair of Board of Adjustments, because I know he's going to make it through this and be back in the future, and looking forward to him being back and be able to help serve in Fuquay-Varina. A couple things I want to mention. Today I had lunch with the Holly Springs mayor and our manager and their manager here in Fuquay-Varina. And as we know, some projects are coming up that we want to share and collaborate on from a standpoint of water and sewer and traffic infrastructure. And what we discussed is how our two towns can partner together and save us both money. As you notice, kind of the theme tonight to me was the money that we're bringing back home for our citizens tonight, and that's what we're working on, ways today that we can all work together and both better our communities and get collaboration on projects right there. And so that was a very good luncheon today at Vicious Fish and very productive. As mentioned earlier, last night was the Mayor Association Christmas dinner, and thank y'all for attending that. And I know Commissioner Smith was recuperating yesterday, and he's back in action today, but it was a good event. And that's a group that I'm with every month with other fellow mayors where we can discuss items going on in our communities and bring back ways we can do things in our community too. And so I'm excited for that. And at the same time, Campo, as the executive member of Campo, I had my first meeting in regards to that. And the benefit with that is all of our projects have to be on Campo's route determination to be able to get any funding for them. And so that's where my job there is to advocate for us to make sure our right projects are on that agenda and we get that funding. So that's exciting with what's coming down the pipeline for that. Continue focusing on traffic and infrastructure along with many of our areas. The employee luncheon, as you mentioned, Commissioner Gardner, was an excellent luncheon. It's been 2 years since we've had one, and that's one of the first things that I'd asked the manager about, are we having one after I was elected? And it's in the works and it's planning, and so ecstatic for that. And employees felt it well received there. What was so neat about it is there were enough gifts there from the standpoint of donations from our community for raffle tickets and raffle games that nearly half of all employees got their ticket drawn to be able to get a prize. And so I gave those out along with Commissioner Vanna White up there helping me hand them out. That was fun, and we enjoyed that very much doing that, and look forward to doing that again next year. And tomorrow, board members, last comment I'll make, tomorrow is Operation Coming Home. It is the 21st home for Operation Coming Home that they've done, and the 11th home in Fuquay-Varina. Fuquay-Varina has more homes than any other municipality, and those events will be tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Love to see everybody from the board there, and it will be also paratroopers and a big show and all kinds of fun things for them as they get their keys tomorrow. So if you haven't been to one, go tomorrow. If you have been, please go and let me know that you're there, because I'd like to recognize you also for everybody that's there.
Mayor, will you let everyone know where that will be at?
Manager, we ask Teresa to send it to everybody's calendars, please. And I'll give you the address right now. You know where off of Lake Wheeler Road, where Pulte neighborhood is? As soon as called Rutherford. You go down Lake Wheeler Road off of Hilltop Needmore, headed north, go to the bottom, come to the top. Right there on the right is Rutherford. And as soon as you turn in there, they'll have directions. You can't miss it then. But to answer anybody's question on the address is 4641 Okeechobee Court.
Okeechobee.
But you can't miss it because there'll be signs everywhere when you get there at that point.
All right, very good.
And that's a great event. But if anyone coming, please send me a text in the morning time that you come, as I like to recognize you that you're there. Any other no further business? I have no further comments. Manager, do we have a closed session tonight?
Merry Christmas. We do not have closed session.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas. I'll entertain a Merry Christmas to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your year. Happy New Year. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion.
Second. Oh, second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
As opposed, motion carries. Merry Christmas.